So today we have a gorgeous new knife that is completely my style, 100% my style. Now this is the Jerry MOEN Mongoose Flipper. Now I do have one other Jerry MOEN design we'll pull up here in 1 second and compare them. But this Mongoose, this one's done by REATE. So they do have, or there is a Jerry MOEN Mongoose that is a custom. And I had it on the channel a long time ago. It's a timeless design. The knife will forever be gorgeous. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful knife. Anyways, this is a production version done by REATE. And we have a beautiful long spear point blade. If you follow the channel, you know this is my absolute favorite blade shape of all time. I just think it's not only gorgeous, but it's one of the most useful. It is the most useful knife blade shape I can think of, because you have a nice piercing tip. You have a tip that's center with the pivot, so utility cuts are great. It has a nice long straight edge for long cuts. You have a little tiny bit of belly for getting down on flat surfaces or skinning or whatever you want to use the belly for. So what a jack of all trades blade shape. And then look at that swedge, look at the satin finish. Oh my God. Then we have a bottled neck handle, which is like my favorite handle shape. And I talk about this all the time. I love a handle that goes from slim to thick back here. I hate it when it goes from thick to slim, but when it goes from slim to thick, my goodness, that's just the way it feels like a hand. It feels like that's the shape a hand likes the most. You know, it just works out really well, especially something that you're going to use as a tool, because these two fingers are what does most of the leverage, you know, like with cutting. You know, up here, that mostly pushes against your palm. So you're basically using the pinky and the ring finger to stop it from spinning in the hand. So you want this to be a little bit thicker to get a little bit better grip. Anyways, the fat carbon fiber is absolutely gorgeous. There is other handle materials, by the way. They do have a blue canvas micarta and a couple other options, but the action, woo, this is a super snap. This thing kicks. And I know it has a big flipper tab, but I'll tell you what, man, I love it. I freaking love it, because man, oh man, the detent is nice and strong, and it has a flipper tab that you get tons of leverage on. So as soon as you break that detent, whoo, the thing kicks like a horse. Oh, I love it. I freaking love it. You can do the light switch or the push button. Both of them work just as good. And I can technically reverse flick off of the blade, but that flipper tab is so good. So the majority of people in the knife community love flipper knives. Most people love flippers more than anything. But you know, there's a small part of the knife community that, you know, is a little bored with flipper knives just because they're used to reverse flicking and front flipping and all of that. But if you want to hand a knife to somebody and get them into the knife community, you want it to be a flipper. And personally, I will always have a love for flipper knives, and this is a great example of one. Now, the blade steel M390, REATE does a really good job with it. The fat carbon fiber is done so well, seamless. We all know REATE does the best inlay work. Titanium mill pocket clip, backspacer, and lanyard pin. Now it has nice thick scales, steel lock bar insert, rock solid lockup, very smooth on the drop. You can feel it you can feel the detent pulling the blade back in. Man, that thing kicks. Nice sharpening tool and plunge grind. But yeah, just everything about this knife I love. Now I have a little nitpick. I do have a couple little nitpicks, but first let's bring up the Jerry MOEN tooling. So they're very similar in a lot of ways, but also very different in a lot of ways. Like one thing, they don't have the same blade shape. This is a drop point, this is a spear point, but they're gonna work very similar because the way he did this drop point is almost like a spear point. It's kind of like a spear point with a reverse flicking hole. That's basically what it is. And I love it. I think this is another gorgeous blade shape. This thing did not get as much hype as I thought it would. I think one thing, it dropped at the wrong time, which happens. Sometimes, you know, a knife company or a designer or whatever will drop a knife just at the wrong time. Another thing is it's an RWL 34. So this one's an M390, so people are going to be able to justify the price a little bit more with the fat carbon fiber, you know, and all the other materials. This one being RWL 34, which is basically like a CPM 154. They couldn't justify it, but I could. That's why I bought it. And there are some things on this that I love that I wish was on this one, but then there's some things on this one that I wish was on this one. I love this back spacer with the jimping. That's one thing I wish this one had. It just has the plain back spacer, or the flat back spacer. This one has the ceramic ball clip. I'm usually not a huge fan of ceramic ball clips, but this one actually works really, really well. The inlay work, it's done by REATE. This is all done by REATE, so this is another phenomenal example. This one has the front flipper and the hole deployment. Now for me, I didn't mind the price because I love the design so much. As far as having RWL34, that's what I meant to say. I didn't mind the price, you know, spending this on RWL34 because I loved the design so much. You know, the bottleneck construction of the handle. I actually have a knife design with a bottleneck type of handle. So hopefully that winds up getting put into production. Anyways, the thing I wish this one had that this one has is the chamfer to the lock bar. That was my biggest complaint on this one, was they did not put a chamfer on the lock bar. Now I got used to it, but still I would really like that. Another thing, this one definitely has a better detent. Way crisper. This one, because it's a front flipper, it's obviously not going to have a super strong detent, right? It shouldn't. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just this one has a stronger detent. The clips, I think this clip's better just because this is rounded right here. However, it doesn't matter to me as far as going in and out of the pocket. They both work pretty similar. But this one back here, when it's in hand, I do feel this. I wish that this was rounded right here. Now, it's not a deal breaker by any means, and it's still very comfortable in the hand. And, you know, this is just literally like the most dumbest nitpick I could come up with. But it is a thing, you know, I do feel it in the hand right there, but not enough to care, you know, like it's still, man, it's so good. But all in all, man, I think, you know, I love that, you know, that, man, I love that handle. What a gorgeous handle. And also check this out. The blade to handle ratio is as good as you can get. You cannot get a better blade to handle ratio. They packed as much blade as they could possibly pack into this handle. So T10 hardware, I think it's all the way around T10. It might be, let me just, is that T8 right there? The pivot is definitely T10. Yep, pivot's T10. Okay, so the regular hardware is T8. So we have a T10 pivot and then T8 body screws. Man, oh man, what a badass knife. Yep, this one's one I'm definitely digging quite a bit. You know, just the blade shape coupled with the handle, you know, I can just tell that this is an extremely useful knife. I think this is the knife I'm going to carry on the holidays, or on Thanksgiving, you know, coming up, because I'll be with the family. So I gotta, you know, I gotta pick something that's gonna, you know, be really cool. This has a little bit of everything in it. That's what I love about it. It has some elegance to it. It has some spark, some flair. It also has phenomenal action. So if I hand it to somebody, anybody I hand it to will be able to deploy it and appreciate the action. You know, handing a front flipper to somebody who's never used a front flipper, they don't appreciate it. They can't. It just doesn't even make sense to them. But handing somebody this, they're like, whoa, yeah, that's nice. But then, not only is it elegant, you know, and nice to hand to people and all that, it's also a phenomenal user. This is a knife that is going to be super capable of to throw at anything. Like I could literally use this just for just about anything. And you know, with this blade shape, and it does have a flat grind. I wish it was a hollow. Not that it has bad geometry, because it's great geometry. Just I wish it was a hollow. But anyways, regardless, I'm not, you know, upset at it. Man, oh man. I freaking love it. I'm digging it, guys. I know I'm gushing a little bit too hard over this one. And I know there's a honeymoon phase, but I don't care. I don't even think it's a honeymoon phase. Now, like I said, this one did not get as much hype as I wished it would have, because I really wanted to experience this one with other people. But I understand why some people didn't invest in it, you know, because of the price for the steel. Like, I get that, you know. And like I said, and I know it just kind of dropped at the wrong time. So, I will be linking this down in the description to River's Edge Cutlery. They recently became an affiliate with us, and I greatly appreciate that. I'm very thankful. So Like I said, I will link them down in the description. If you've never heard of or never seen River's Edge Cutlery site and you want to, check out the link down in the description and you know, check out their site. But anyways, everything will be linked down in the description. Work hard, stay tough. You know society's relying on you. Until next time, peace.